Hello,
Hello.
what we doing?
Same shit we do every Saturday.
Yes, try to take over the world. Tee obvious
Yes,
joke. No, we're
you
talk.
are you are pinky out of us.
I
Just to be
fucking.
clear.
How dare you? No, we're doing the new Doctor Who as if it weren't immediately obvious.
From the title
We're talking
and
about
the image.
yes, we're talking about Dot and Bubble.
Yeah, Dot and Bubble. The latest episode.
I'm sorry, my colleague
Um,
sounds a bit hungover. It's because he is.
because I'm a bit hungover.
We'll be gentle with you.
Some of
How
us have social lives.
well? Let that be a lesson to you.
Yeah. Um,
What did you make of it?
I always end up going first.
Okay, do you want me to go first?
Yes.
I liked it. I liked it a
Okay.
lot. I have problems with it, but this is second best for me, honestly. I I may find more to dislike about it, but I went into this thinking, is this going to be? We mentioned last time. I thought my concern was that this was going to be old man bashing Gen Z, um,
Mm.
but it was more, I guess, focused in on influencers, and it was funny in parts, although there was one moment which pushed it for me. Um,
Yeah.
and I have some questions about the plot aspects of which didn't entirely make sense. I think it just needed ironing out in a few places.
That's par for the course of this fucking
Yeah,
season.
I liked the ending as well. I thought I liked this episode. What did you make of it?
I was incredibly indifferent. There
uh,
were moments. There were moments where I thought maybe there's something to this, and there was moments where I was bored out of my fucking head
huh.
and wanted it to be over.
Yeah, there were a few boring bits. Yeah, what did you write down on your list?
Well, um, I underlined the words, well, the word vapid,
Yes,
and next to that, a little side note that I wrote afterwards. I want them all to die.
yes, I thought they were a load of vacuous C words. I'm not going to say the word because it's Docky Who, and you can't use
I
that word with Docky Who.
I did not. I didn't. I mean, only there was a one character, excluding obviously the Ruby and Doctor, who were barely in it really.
Yeah,
With the
which I
exception
liked.
of, with the exception of those, there was only one character that I had any sort of yes, I want them to do okay out of this episode.
Yes, I
And I'm assuming it's probably the same character you think feel similarly towards.
yes,
And well, we know how that went. But
yeah,
everyone else they could just fucking die for all I care. We were. This is pre. This is pre-title sequence, by the way. I wrote it.
yes. I thought you would arrive at that conclusion particularly quick. I,
I just
I,
these are the kinds of people I cannot fucking stand.
yes, yes. I don't think anybody can stand them really. Vapid heads up their arse, wannabe influencer types. But I like that the episode we weren't meant to like them. I like that it wasn't. They are intentionally unsympathetic. Um,
Well, I mean, I don't necessarily think. I think some of them probably are meant to be more sympathetic, like Gothic Paul, for
yeah,
example,
to an extent.
who who isn't as vacuous as the rest and seems to have a bit of a head on his shoulders and all that kind of shit, you know. But
Far fewer subscribers, instantly, I noted.
yeah, funny. There was only a handful of people whose numbers I noticed. Um,
W- Yeah,
so
all I noticed was everybody's was big. What's his face? Paul Summerland, or what's his name?
Ricky September.
Ricky September. He has everybody, and then Gothic Paul had like 300 and something.
Uh,
Which is interesting. You'd think they would have not wanted to be around him if that. I don't know. Um, but yes, it's certainly nice to see itsy bitsy teeny weeny yellow polka dot bikini a bigger hit as it's always been. Uh, just as popular as
yeah.
ever.
It's it seems like a weird choice, really. But I mean, it's about everything else so fucking out of place, isn't it? But
Well, you say that. I thought in terms of a futuristic Earth type society, this had a lot going for it. I kept noting things. I mean, songs do sort of come around like that. They probably should have been a beat over it or something. I don't know. But I noted the slang I can't remember any of it.
Hmm.
But because I'm 30, I'm old now. I don't have room in my head for new slang. Um, I I I took note of the slang and it sounded realistic. Like, oh, okay, I could buy this being the sort of thing that in, you know, 30 years or 100 or whatever.
Is
Uh,
it is it worth at this point pointing out that you don't really know what we say now, so this could just be modern day
yeah,
slang?
of course I do. Don't This me? I don't know. That's just fair. It's not modern slang, is it?
I don't know.
I've not made a tremendous boo of myself. I'm certain it isn't.
I assume they've probably taken words that they suspect could be used in a
Well, it
context
sounds
elsewhere.
like the sort of thing, and it does work. I knew what they meant, and it sounded like the sort of thing that could be slang. It's definitely made up. I didn't hear
Hmm.
anybody say, "Riz me up" or whatever. It's definitely it's
No
def-
one says that,
Yes, they
Ben.
do. They say it all the
No,
time.
they don't. You're so fucking. You don't know anything like that. You just
Oh,
don't. Okay.
get a load of fucking Justin Bieber over here with the kids. Jesus fucking
Even
hell.
he's outdated now.
Is he?
Yeah.
Who are they listening
No
to
one gives
then?
a shit about him.
Who are the kids? Is it?
It's either Taylor Swift or Beyonce or some grime artist or
You don't.
no one.
Those are two pretty big names you pulled out of the air there. That doesn't sound particularly precise. I don't think you've got any more of a clue than I do, quite
Well,
frankly.
no, but the thing is, these are you get the likes of Bad Bunny and Lil Nas
What the?
X or whatever they're called, and Charlie XCX and all these other fucking people that I wouldn't bother naming because you don't give a fuck.
Little
Really,
Nas is the gay one.
I wouldn't know. I don't care.
We are following
Makes
him on Twitter, which I haven't checked in a while, which brings us nicely back to this episode. um,
Christ.
yes,
No, what there was one likable person in the entire fucking
yeah. Hang
show.
on. I liked the slang element, but I also liked. I didn't really know what to make of it, what the point of it was, but the bit where what's her face, nasty girl, the main girl, hugs. Um,
Rookie.
yeah. Um, and there's like an element of consent there, like he should have asked before he could hug her.
Yeah, I
The
didn't write
grubbing
it,
her.
but
I
I
didn't.
caught it when it happened.
Yeah, I saw. I don't. I'm still sort of digesting what that means, but I liked it as sort of a future cultural thing.
Well, you know what it
Um,
is, don't you? It's because they're so woke now.
they're not that fucking woke.
It's no, the makers of Doctor Who.
Oh, right. Sorry. Yeah, yeah.
It's too woke.
It is too woke.
This is because we alluded to
Yes.
saying some of those lines when we were recording the other night. Um,
Well,
but I
did we?
mean, yeah, we were joking about how we could make the entire
Oh,
thing a
yeah. That's
thumbnail
right. We could
with us
put.
in our shop faces and too woke.
Yes. Woke TARDIS. We put the TARDIS in like rainbow colours. We'll make $1 million.
Well, it's Pride. So.
It'll be
Anyway,
Pride. Yes.
the
Go
so
on.
yeah, I mean, I clocked it. I didn't write it. I did clock the whole consent thing.
Mm.
Um,
But it was a nice
because
touch.
it happened twice, didn't it? The hug and it was very first time sexual contact style wording that was
Yes.
used. But it's good, and he was like, it was great, and
Mm.
like gonna, it seemed weird
Mm.
to me. It seemed I don't know if it was meant to be indicative of a societal thing or if it was meant to be
Well,
indicative.
yeah, I mean, I don't know whether it was commentary. I don't think, I hope it wasn't, but that sort of thing just adds a bit of flavour to the, society and the culture and the era, and I think it was very well established.
I mean, we don't know when it is. We don't really know where it is.
Well, I imagine it's the far future. I sort of imagined it was the moon of a colony world.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
allow that because there's hope. There's the home world and then the whether they're
yeah, I mean, my best,
fine or
yeah, I don't think Doctor Who really, I don't think it's clever or wise to do too much stuff to Earth because you're only going to fuck up the main timeline. You then have to incorporate that because Earth features so often. You can do whatever the fuck you want to some colony planet.
yeah,
Um,
like wipe everyone out.
yeah, yeah. Um, which sort of brings me on to another. Well, I suppose I guess we'll. Well, I like I liked the whole bubble thing, i.e., uh, my impression was that they were sort of going down the route that it's a bubble in the sense of the fact that because they've mentioned the fact that outside it's all wild and it's full of, well, we don't know, monsters presumably, and wild animals and God knows what else, and the idea that they were encapsulated in this bubble and ignoring the problems and the threats, which I liked, but they didn't really go down that route massively. Uh,
Can can I interject here?
yeah, please do.
Is this not, in essence, the human element of the movie Wally?
Um, Only if Wally was set in an ethno state.
Well, I mean, yeah, okay, fine, but you get the fucking
Yeah,
point, right?
yeah.
There's this bad AI, and it is using literally. They
Well,
even look the bloody same. The bloody device is near enough because it's like a
yeah.
screen on their chairs, and they can follow these specific
I
routes that they're on, and it's fucking Wally.
I, I, I see. This is where the plot sort of bothered me a little bit, because the AI that basically social media was trying to kill them because it finds them just as insufferable as we do.
Which is
Uh,
fine. I can live with
yeah.
that. It's the horror story that we keep
Yes.
telling ourselves about AI, and it's
Yes.
been presented in a Doctor Who way. I can get on board with the
Yeah.
idea, even if it is overdone.
I do like that idea. I like, well, say it's overdone. I don't think it's overdone in relation to social media itself. AI
No, but
wiping out
AI.
humanity, yeah, certainly. But in terms of a social media bent, sure. What I don't get.
Yeah.
Okay, so what? I guess this thing starts on the homeland, I guess, and then
Yeah.
on the homeworld, and then spreads to prime time, or what's it called? Fine time.
Fine time. Yeah.
Yeah. So it makes these monsters, and it kills people in alphabetical order,
Yep.
which in a sense makes sense.
I mean, it
But
doesn't. But
well, I mean, I get, yeah. But
if it knows where they all
why
are,
don't you just let these things out and have at them?
yeah.
Just
Like
just
they're
release them.
distracted. These things are these people are distracted. They have no fucking idea that anything else is going on until an outside influence comes along. There's one person who had a clue.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know, some of them were seeing the signs of it, but they were all going to die because they
Mm.
weren't going to fucking turn the machines off. And the AI in it, maybe that's the issue. Maybe AI will try to kill us all, but it'll do it in the least effective way possible.
Yes. Or maybe it was just a sadistic thing, you know, that it because in the episode the ball tries to murder her. Why don't you
Yeah,
just do that with everybody?
yeah,
You know,
exactly.
um,
Um,
maybe it is a sadism thing. Maybe it wanted them all to suffer with these big monsters, and the idea that it's a list, and it's you're on the list, and it's coming for you, and sooner or later you can only avoid the inevitable.
here's a question for
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah,
It was going in alphabetical order, yeah,
yeah,
and the reason it was going for uh whatever pepper bean or whatever it was
yeah,
is because everyone above her in the alphabet is dead.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
So how the fuck is Brewster Cavendish still around?
Um,
A bloke who's like, well, no one said anything about there being a leader, but I'll put myself up for it. How is he still around if
I,
everyone that was before her is dead?
I don't know, but I don't know.
No, I don't know either,
I
and I
don't
think
know.
it's bullshit
Maybe they went
because
offline and because it couldn't see them
Kate
anymore, it skipped them.
Kate's bookkeeper was a week ago, which means that he should have been gone about a week ago.
What a weird fucking name.
Yeah, I fucking
Mm.
like it's just a silly little thing, but it's a silly little thing that doesn't make sense, because both of his
Yeah,
names are start of the alphabet names, yeah.
yeah,
And I just it's, all you have to do is change his name, and I don't care anymore. You
yeah.
know, make it
Zebedee
Brewster
Zum.
Zipdo or something.
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
it's a stupid silly little detail that means they clearly didn't think about it.
I
They picked a name they
yeah,
thought would work,
yeah.
it sounded right, and they didn't think about the connotations of it.
The whole alphabetical order thing was a bit weird. I mean, thinking about it now, we're doing that thing where we're amending the episode when I was watching this, my thought was, okay, maybe they're deliberately being wiped out because they're so insufferable, but it's more of a society thing, you
Mm.
know, like you
Get
pay
them voted out.
and we'll send them over here and they'll be wiped out, or maybe it's like a cultural thing where it's the animals are outside and they've gotten in, but everybody's turning a blind eye to them.
Mm.
What if it's a subscription thing? What if you're subscribing to be in prime time, and the people who are getting eating are the ones we can't afford the subscriptions anymore?
Maybe.
That
Maybe
works,
that would work.
you know.
I'd have, I'd have gone with it if it had been
And
a.
there's an economic crisis, and now we can't afford this.
Do you
And
remember? Do you
yeah,
remember back in season one we had the Big Brother thing?
yeah,
I would have even accepted if it was a reimagining of that concept
they were all being voted out off by
by
a
by
live
Homeworld people.
TV audience. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
the whole fucking planet watching this show because it's Love Island on Space or whatever it was you fucking called it.
Or it's a
You know,
subscriber count.
yeah,
You know,
you know, there's options there,
yeah,
isn't there?
yeah,
You can make a proper statement about the fleeting nature of social media and the influencer
yes,
community and those 15 minutes of fame.
yes. How fickle social media fame can be, and
But instead, they went down the AI route because that's a buzzword.
no, I
Well,
sort
not
of.
necessarily because that's a buzzword, but I mean, at the moment, it's such a
Yeah,
big thing, isn't it?
yeah, I don't entirely disagree with you on anything. That's why I did it. As I say, I do kind of like the social media is just as sick of you all as we are angle to it.
Oh,
I don't
heck,
think it was perfect.
even have it just altering the votes.
What do you mean?
Like the AI, the people that are voting to watch it, and they know what's going on this Homeworld thing. But the
Yeah,
AI is tampering with it all to get rid of the ones that it really fucking hates.
yeah, I guess.
I could live with that even, you know.
I'm sort of fine with AI getting rid of them because they're insufferable. I there were just questions I had about its method that seemed a bit. Uh, um,
Yeah.
yeah.
Again, it's the least efficient way. You know,
Yeah,
it's like
it didn't make any sense, and I don't see why they did it for plot reasons either, for story reasons. Like, what did they bring to it?
do you know what you do? Do you know the easiest way of dealing with this?
What?
Like for the AI to kill all the people,
Yeah.
put one of those things in every single elevator.
Or remove the
Chop it
oxygen.
or remove the oxygen. Yeah.
Although I suppose it was social media, so it wasn't into the mainframe exactly. It was like a separate
Well, no,
thing.
because it had the directions, didn't it?
Well,
So
yeah, but I
it
mean,
was
I can Google something and get the directions. It's just social media is incorporated with the internet. That's a separate thing
well, no, but
than the
we don't know
systems
how much.
keeping the fine time, running and the weather systems or whatever. You know,
We don't know how much control it actually has over the environment that we're living in,
well, clearly not a lot.
right? Well, we don't know, do we?
Well, my assumption would be not a lot, because as I say, it could have just turned the oxygen off.
Yeah, but I mean, the fact that it took so long for it to try and fucking kill her with the thingy means it's not that clever, you
Well, it
know?
only tried to do that after she was told that it was the social media. You know, that may
Yeah.
have been a last resort thing. It may have wanted everybody to die like that. Sort of makes sense. I think it was a deliberate sadistic choice.
Well, in that
Um,
case, if it was a deliberate sadistic choice, then Wade wouldn't want us to turn off the oxygen, would it?
no, no,
And again, could it? Is that even a thing that could realistically happen, considering they are on a planet? Like we know that there's a protective thing,
that's true.
but
I mean, yeah,
we don't know the nature of it, do we?
yeah. I don't know. It could have just opened a door and let some space lions in. I guess.
Hmm.
Well, another thing I liked, uh, although I wish they took this further, I liked how um, the Doctor and Ruby didn't, had contempt, noticeably had contempt for these people that they were trying to
Yeah,
hide when she turned off the thing and she didn't know how to walk without being told
yeah.
how to, which I liked up until the bit she walked into the lamppost twice, and I thought, okay, Russell, you've gone too far.
I couldn't. I hated her anyway.
Yeah,
Nothing she did made me hate her any less.
yeah,
She did something that made me hate her more,
yeah.
and
We'll get to that.
there's like two different things in my head, but and actually only one of them made me hate her more.
Yeah,
So
I
you
am.
know,
but I mean, I like that, and it made a sort of sense, I guess, at that stage of the future. We're all so engrossed, or almost all of us are so engrossed in, or maybe not all of us. Maybe these are the people who are just the worst affected, and everybody back home is.
Well, no, they're not, are they? Because they're all dead.
Yeah, fair point. I guess everybody
So
is.
something's happened to kill
It's
them off. And seeing as
it's a
you'll
cultural
see,
thing.
I sent the picture of the homeworld population zero thing,
Yeah,
and I mean, there's one of those slug creatures on a rooftop there. So clearly, it's the same method of death for all these things.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
I
Well, there was another thing. Sorry, I can't remember, but it was another stupid thing that she and just how rude she was. Um,
Was it her calling Ruby stupid for asking questions?
yeah, and and every time that came up when she called them an idiot, yeah, when she called them idiots,
Hmm.
um, I
I
so
mean,
want
she couldn't do basic fucking
you
things
couldn't
like walk.
walk
Yeah.
without
I'm not a
Facebook
child.
telling you
2 minutes
how.
earlier. It was just, I couldn't.
But
I
I'm
can't do
fine.
it.
I'm fine with unlikable characters if they're meant to be unlikable. We are not meant to like this person. It would be different if she was, irritable, and the episode was telling us that this is a protagonist, and we're meant. I suppose she is the protagonist, but that we're meant to like this person, and it wasn't. It wasn't. Um,
No, I mean, I like I say, I wanted her. I wanted everyone else to fucking die.
well,
I
they
wanted.
do.
Well, not yet. Not on screen. They don't. There's
Well,
one person in the entire fucking town, city, whatever, that I wanted to survive it, and they fucking didn't.
Jasper Slingshot. Yeah. What's his name?
You really, Why are you so fucking incapable of remembering anyone's name?
Fergus Slipper. I don't know.
Ricky
Ricky
September.
September. I don't give a shit. They all got stupid TikTok names.
Oh, this isn't just. It doesn't. It's not this context though. It's every fucking context.
Of
You can't remember names. Any names ever.
course I can. You.
See, it's just the obvious joke.
Hee hee. Yes. We got what's her face back, proving your point again. Fucking hell, Susan Twist.
Yes, we did get Susan Twist, and they acknowledged her again,
Yes, but not.
which I mean,
They didn't.
definitely a thing.
Yeah, they didn't. They didn't focus in on it though. You'd have thought they would have met that with more concern.
Hmm.
They're
Yeah.
both sort of, maybe the doctor should have gone. Yeah, that's a hmm,
Oh,
and then
yeah, the
sort of
trouble is, the Doctor has experienced previously a generational similarity of likeness.
threw it out.
So we had it with Gwen, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not necessarily it just be one of those coincidence things for him. And
Hmm.
when it happened last episode with Ruby seeing Susan Twist, the hiker,
Yeah.
there is always a possibility that it could have been passed off as a this the thing about, and I meant to mention it then, and I hate that we're doing it now. I'm going to do it anyway.
Do it.
When Ruby did the stuff in the last episode, and there was the old woman there, old Ruby was there.
Mm-hmm.
That means that old Ruby has been through the cycle once before.
Yeah.
That is the second time that has happened. At least the second time that cycle has happened, which means that there is every possibility that I recognise you. Have I seen you somewhere? Is a deja vu style situation from the last cycle loop
I don't
because she
think.
vaguely remembered having been there at the end of the episode, right?
Yeah, that's definitely what that's a reference to, which sort of makes me think 73 yards is going to pop up again and be referenced more fully in a different episode.
No. You're not grasping what I'm saying.
Okay.
Okay, when Ruby recognised Susan Twist in 73 yards, yeah,
Yeah.
she recognised her. Didn't know where from, but she recognised her.
Yeah.
You with me? Okay.
Yes.
There
You
is
think it's
every
because she's been
possibility.
through that cycle before?
No, you and me both know it, right? But there was every possibility at the time that they could have been playing it off as a this is me having gone through the loop again because of how they played the ending with her vaguely recognising or vaguely remembering having been to Wales before, but
Yeah.
not knowing why, right?
Okay.
This
Okay.
episode absolutely solidifies it as it is a thing rather than
Okay. Yeah, I sort of get what you mean. I don't think anybody would interpret it that way, but I see your point. Um, yeah, they recognised her again.
Yeah,
So that's sort of moving forward a little bit. Um,
at a slug's pace.
yes, yes. Um, question:
Go on.
This jobs, data entry jobs.
Oh, I don't fucking know.
What? Yeah, I was going to ask what's the deal with that? Was that relevant to
I don't.
anything or
No, no, absolutely not relevant to anything whatsoever. Maybe they're learning how to type the alphabet,
my guess would be that what's that reference to?
but in fact, it's in alphabetical order.
All right. Oh yeah. My guess is it was. I thought it was going to amount to something. My guess is aren't these people vacuous and spoilt that they do 2 hours of basic data entry when they're not even doing anything. They're just putting their hands on the pad and still chatting away, and
Mm.
they consider that a monstrous injustice. Um,
Yeah, well, they've
that's
probably got people for that back home.
yeah, probably. We know what they look like, unfortunately.
Well,
And
no, you see, I want to go on. I want to make a point about it later on
okay,
when we do our topic proper
when
because
we
I
get to the
I
ending,
wasn't entirely sure what ism it was.
is it? Yeah,
Carry on.
we'll get to it. It might have been
Yeah.
both, but we'll
Okay.
we'll get to it. Yeah, I don't think it was both. Um, but yeah, have you got anything else you want to talk about?
Well, we saw the sonic screwdriver, if you want to call it that.
Yes,
We saw the Sonic TV remote,
the seashell thing. I was thinking it looks a
the,
bit
the
like a
the
little seashell.
the Sky controller.
Yeah,
Uh, yeah, we saw that again. Even though, well, there was a line about how he had saved her so many times. The Doc had saved Ruby so many times, which again, to me, the way it was worded, the sentence at the time implied that it had been quite a long time that they'd been together,
yeah,
which makes
that's
me think there's been another time skip.
yeah. I think this is a let's give some room for Big Finish to move in, sort of
Yeah,
thing. Um,
make it a more multimedia, intentionally multimedia
yeah,
development rather than. Which again, I can live with that. I can get over that. But I mean, canonically, as far as we're concerned at the moment, this is their sixth adventure.
yeah. I mean, maybe sort of you could put some references into the actual episodes themselves because I don't think they've done much of that. We've seen, they went back to the prehistory, the dinosaur times in
Mm,
that first episode, Space Babies. Was it Space Babies? I think it was.
it was. You have remembered the name correctly. Well done.
Yes, but
Have a cookie.
thank you. I've got some cake. I saw because I remember that in the back in the old Russell T Davies series. You got bits where they were talking about. Oh, remember that time we went to that place where the waves freeze.
Barcelona.
Yeah,
Let's go to Barcelona.
bits like that. Let's have some references
We
to further adventures.
we had it with River Song. Remember when they were catching up on the diary and working out where in each of his timelines they were?
Yeah.
And Jim the Fish was a thing. And that was a comic story, I believe, that took place
All right.
in one of the magazines or something or other. And it's just like it's just a silly little reference that became a thing, and it's an existence of a life outside of what we see,
Yes.
you know. Whereas it's other than a suggestion that there has been more time than not having any time.
Mm,
There's a not very a good way of wording it, but you know what I mean.
mm.
These episodes do not feel as though they are continuous. They do not feel like they're carrying on from one another.
No.
And I suspect that that would help justify the outfit changes.
Yeah, I sort of like that we're doing outfit changes. I haven't really paid much attention to him.
I mean, he's been in a different outfit every bloody episode.
Well, good for him. I sort
I don't have an issue with it.
no,
I don't care what he's wearing. But it would go some way towards maybe he spent 6 months wearing whatever bloody costume it
yeah,
was,
maybe.
and he's sick of it now because it's been 6 months and it needs a wash.
It is nice
Yeah,
that we're sort of breaking with that. All the doctors only wear one set of clothing at all times, generally speaking. You know.
apart from like special occasions like the orange spacesuit.
Yeah, and every now and then Tent dons a tux, and
Yeah.
everything bad. Only bad things happen when he wears that. Um, yeah,
I don't
I
know.
like
He
that.
nearly smoked Kylie whilst that was going on. So,
Yeah, and then she died, so
but then she didn't.
but she did. She did another
But she
episode
didn't.
where the arsehole lives. She did die. Uh, she very much did. Um, Yeah, I guess I like that because for a while it was a big deal what the Doctor was going to be wearing, wasn't it? Whenever
Yeah,
whenever a new one was announced. I mean, I having seen the Clever Dick um, Doctor Who retrospectives where they talk about Colin Baker and his outlandish costume, and you're going back to Tom Baker with his wonderful scarf and things like that. So the costume is iconic, and but I'm sort of glad we're doing something different because it doesn't. It's sort of silly having the Doctor only ever wear one thing. Um, in a way, I guess. I don't know. I'm not massively attached to it as
it makes more sense for them to only wear one thing if they're going straight from one episode into another.
it does, and it sort of it gives you the impression of a man who doesn't stop still, or woman,
Exactly.
or person. So
It's a
yeah,
person.
which
Whereas like we said, we've got the illusion to time
mm,
skip, so it makes sense that there is a change of clothes. I
yeah.
can get on board with it. I just don't care either way
I mean
about the
yeah
clothes.
the fact I haven't made much notice of it sort of suggests it doesn't mean a great deal to me at all. I sort of wish we had
Mm.
more costumes with him though. You know, I suppose we
What do
can
you want him
get
to
there.
dress up as fucking I don't know a snowman or something?
Yeah,
Okay,
you
fair
know what I
enough.
mean. I mean, we had it when they went to the '60s. I'd like to see a bit more of that. I know they're going to the
Well, it is.
Regency. Sorry.
When they went to the 60s, the clothes they were wearing were fine anyway before they changed.
Yeah, I know, right?
So like they changed for no reason whatsoever.
But
They changed so we could have a wardrobe change scene.
yes,
That's it.
more wardrobe change scenes, please.
You know. Oh, I'm just going to change this white shirt for a different white shirt.
Oh
But
my
it's important that we
god.
go into the wardrobe and do a weird thing where you don't see the cut, but there obviously is a cut because we've gone in one door and come out another, completely changed.
Can we have a montage set to girls just want to have fun? That's what
No.
I that's what I want, please.
Um. Uh, can we talk about Ricky?
Who's Ricky?
I'm going to slap you.
No, it's all
I'm
right.
I'm not I'm not in the mood for the bullshit today, Ben.
Sorry,
Please.
sorry. He's a
I don't know
little.
how you didn't know this from the tone,
You're
but
never in mood. I mean, you always say you're never
sometimes,
in.
sometimes I no, sometimes I'm fine with it, and
Yeah.
I just no bullshit. Just you know,
Okay, I'm sorry. It's one of those days,
thank
I
you.
guess. Right, let's talk about Ricky.
You nearly didn't get it then.
I was so tempted to say, Terry or something.
Mickey.
Go
I'd have
on.
accepted a Mickey.
Let's talk about Noland.
So Ricky, I wrote down Ricky gets shit. As in, he fucking he's clued up. Ricky is the kind of guy
Mm,
who looks like the twat because that's what social media wants, right?
yes.
But actually, he's someone who's got a head on his shoulders. He's very 90s boy band looks wise. Which I don't know if you
He
took
looked
note of that.
ugly and beautiful at the same time.
That's a very 90s boy band
It was
thing.
one of those faces. I couldn't work out which it was.
The hair as well was yeah.
Yeah.
But there was one particular. Well, I mean, there were two particular things. No, three things about him that really caught my attention. Scenes that
Yeah.
Jador said. So
Yeah.
there was when she said, "I was thinking this was the worst day of my life, but it might actually be the best day of my life,"
I
and
love
his
that
immediate
moment.
reaction is, "Thousands of people have died."
Yeah. I did like that because that was well, it was my reaction. I assume it was your reaction as
Yeah,
well. As
it
soon as she
was.
said that, I was like, of course, this is what a
It's
great.
nice for someone to acknowledge that sort of thing instead of being so caught up in the moment that they
Yes.
can,
I kind of
you know,
wish.
because go on.
I almost sort of wish. I know you like the character well enough, probably because he stands as such a contrast to all the arseholes, but I wonder whether
Yes.
I might have preferred it if they just played it straight and just everybody was like that, until the sinister twist at the end. I sort of like the idea that maybe you had them, he doesn't say anything and they look into each other's eyes and there's a swooning love score or whatever. Like play
Yeah.
into it a bit. I could have gone for that. I'd have been fine with that. But yeah, go on.
I liked the fact that the homeworld reveal was done originally with the look on his face and the
Mm,
music.
mm,
That changed. That there's that you can tell something's wrong here, and
mm.
it's all of it was the acting on his face and the way the music changed, and that was it. That's all it needed.
Mm.
And I think I would have preferred that and not seeing the screen. Honestly, I don't think we needed to see the screen to know what there was an issue. Personally,
See, when I
I thought the screen looked a bit meh. The fact, like I say, you got it there because I sent the pic of it because I thought, well, we've got to put it include, haven't we?
Yeah.
And it's just something about this slug being stood on the roof of this random place where he's got the live feed from.
Yes, it's sort of.
What is that? Is that like fucking Country File live screen or something? You know,
I don't know.
there's a bird's nest on there that's conservationists keep an eye on. It just makes no sense.
It's a sign of conquest, isn't it? Well, I suppose it's social media. Everything's probably got a webcam in it. You know.
But why would he try and tune into there if he's calling for help?
It was just a random thing. I don't fucking know. He probably called for help, didn't get anything, decided to have a cursory check. I don't know. But yeah, that framing of that shot is very. It's the conquest shot, isn't it? That immediately communicates.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There's a slug looking down on a ruined city. We get it. But when I saw his face, my first thought was, this is a conspiracy and he is in on it.
I see. I had entertained the idea that he was part of the issue. He was leading her somewhere to
yeah,
die.
That was my immediate thought. I thought, okay, he's setting up our lovable hero to fail.
Yeah. And then the third thing, because there was three. Again, it was his reaction to the surname situation.
Yeah, he was so disappointed in her and just like, oh.
For anyone who has not yet seen it, why the fuck are you watching this video? But also, because no one's watching this video, that's fine. There was she sold him out by.
Oh yeah, she threw him under the fucking. Sorry, I interrupted you there. Go on, please.
She pointed out to this rogue AI bot flying thing that he was he had changed his surname from Coombs, I think it was, to September, and thus his C comes before P. Which again, maybe that's why it's alphabetical, so she could do this thing. Maybe they worked backwards.
Probably, yeah. It may be that. I think that's a fair reading of it. It also, but it acted on the idea that it had to kill him first, which again raises the issue that there's people whose surnames are earlier in the alphabet still alive. But
like Cavendish,
yeah. It's like who gives a shit at that point? Just
Yep.
I don't think that was. I didn't like that whole alphabetical thing.
The scene worked because it revealed just how much of a bitch she actually is.
Yeah.
Like she seems stupid and immature and incapable of anything, but actually it turns out she's a fucking stone cold killer.
Good acting, I want to say. Good. I like the performances from all those arseholes. It can be.
Well, those two. I mean, it was like her and him. The acting was good.
Well, I thought her acting because
everyone else.
At the start, I thought she was probably our hero, but that's a nice. It's a nice twist when. These people are arseholes, and Doctor Who doesn't really do that a lot, where basically all the characters you have to follow are arseholes. Which is nice. It did something different, and I like the fact that the Doctor and Ruby were hardly in it. I had entertained the possibility that the whole thing was going to take place within the bubble. That would have been interesting.
What, a TV show or something that they're watching?
Well, no, but when she's in what's that horror film where they're on Skype?
I don't know, but I know what you mean.
What's it called? It's like.
I don't know, but I know what you mean. Social network.
Unfriended.
Unfriended, yeah.
Yeah, I thought you could tell a story in that.
You could.
I thought that was the way they were going to go for it. That would have been interesting, but I still liked it. So yeah.
How does that thing work when because there was a couple that were related to each other, weren't there?
Oh, well, the sisters or the two.
The two, and do they have one device that covers both their heads, or have they got their own ones?
I don't know.
I don't know either, but this is a question that I have now. I didn't think about it at the time, but I'm thinking about it now.
You get TikTokers who are like couples or siblings or whatever. I get what you mean, and I have no answer for that. Do they link?
How much harder is it to kill those ones?
Well, I guess well, if they were just a couple and they had different surnames, and one had a B surname and one had a U surname,
Hmm.
um, both them and Uganda Clops, you'd kill both of them
I
first, and then Uganda Clops would probably run off, wouldn't they?
well, exactly, but I reckon that I think it was brother and sister were the ones that I remember from the episode,
Right.
and they were on video together. You want to
Hmm.
have to assume that they therefore are with each other the whole time because that's how it's presented, is that they're never really apart from these machines, right?
Yeah.
Which begs the question: did they send two of those slugs?
I don't know. I think you're
I
reading
don't
too
know.
much into it, but
I know it's a
I
silly little thing again that could have been a funny answer. We could have seen that and it could have been entertaining.
yeah, maybe that it kills one of them and the other one logs in and is like, "Hi guys, I'm going solo now. This is an exciting stage in my career, unfortunately."
Oh no, I'm
Uh,
being eaten as well.
yeah,
Um,
you could have had more social media jokes like a React. I don't know. You could have had
you know the famous Blair Witch thing with the videotape and the Amber Snot,
and the what?
Amber Snot.
Oh yeah, I'm so scared.
We could have had one of those style situations going on.
Yes.
Like it would
Um,
have been an obvious reference, but it would have been a nice, silly, funny thing for them to have done.
I suddenly there's an SCP which is called the town that gets eaten by bears, and the
Okay.
gist of this is that they had an infestation of like elk or something. So they hire a company that is going to introduce a bear, and the bear is going to kill the elk, and it does a marvelous job. But then the next day there's two bears, and the next day after that there's four. And bears keep multiplying, and it's relayed through this. I think he's like the mayor, and he's calling this company, and he always has the same sign off where he says it's Richard Daly, call me back on, and then he gives his number, and it ends with him being eaten, and he still gives the same sign off. It's like a
Hmm.
little funny moment. You could probably do something like that.
Yeah.
Where they're doing their streamer call off thing. I don't know what they call it, but you know what I mean.
Like, don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and oh yeah,
Yes, yes. Smash that
the
like button. Oh God, my spleen. Yes.
the
They could have done more funny things like that, which I would have been fine with.
it's tangential, but you've just reminded me that they were at one point planning on having the end of Alien. You know the famous sign off. This is Ellen Ripley survived with Nostromo signing off. There was a plan at one point for that to be the alien imitating her.
Oh yeah, I remember that. I remember hearing
Yeah.
that it kills her and then it sits down and it gives the SOS call.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just made me think of that.
Glad they
It's
didn't.
a silly little thing. Oh, no, I'm
Um,
pleased it didn't.
I had
They've never
something.
been able to do the sequel, would they?
I had something and I've forgotten it. What was it? God damn it! Hang on, hang on,
Was it the
hang on.
clap?
No, no. What were we talking about? We were talking about streamer sign offs. Oh, fuck, this is really annoying. It was something I wanted to discuss, and I've forgotten it. I don't
This
make
is why you should
notes
write shit
because I'm
down.
not a nerd. Uh, what was it? What was it? What was it? Uh, I can't remember. I can't. It'll come to me. It'll come to me.
When you say that.
It will. It will.
Um. Buh, 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 buh. You know, when they were running towards they were escaping to that room where they had to put the code in.
Yeah.
I was getting Crystal Maze vibes out of that.
Oh, I know what I was gonna say.
Go on.
Sorry, I'll be very
Was
quick.
it you were getting Crystal Maze vibes out of
No,
that?
no. Did you catch the midnight reference?
I don't think I did.
Oh, they're coming for me. They're coming for me. That bit. That's what
I think
Leslie
that's a very vague reference.
Leslie What's her face says it. The lady that gets got by the midnight monster. She
Is
says it that line verbatim. That it's coming for me. It's coming for me. And she says that, and the camera framing is not dissimilar. Yeah, it was a deliberate
you
reference.
sure?
Yeah, I'm certain. I'm certain of it.
Okay, fair enough.
I saw it mentioned on Reddit previously. Um, and then when I watched it tonight, I was like, oh yeah, no, that is definitely midnight. But yes.
So hang on a
Anyway,
minute. Hang on a minute. You did the Reddit thing before you even watched it?
no, it came up like last week. I think it might have been an
Oh, okay.
additional clip thing because I know they publish like short 20-second clips. It's probably
Oh,
one of
fair
those.
enough.
Um, and I avoid Reddit spoilers. And the Doctor Who subreddit is really very good at keeping those under control.
They have a specific post for it, don't they?
Yeah. So
So
although
I've avoided it.
somebody did say, "Oh my God, what was that ending today?" Uh, so I was on the lookout for something, but not that.
Shall
Yes.
we? Shall we go on to that?
No. Crystal Maze.
No, there's not much more. I mean, I'm assuming you're familiar with the Crystal Maze.
Yeah.
For anyone who isn't familiar with the Crystal Maze, A, get a life, and B, um, the Crystal Maze was a sort of TV game show where people went on as a team to solve various challenges, competing challenges. So there'd be like physical activities or puzzles to solve, that sort of thing. And if you solved it in the time limit, you would win a crystal, and that crystal could be used to earn you 5 seconds in the Crystal Dome at the end, where you could win a prize. Um,
It was like
the
Fort Boyard, but for nerds.
And anyone who's not familiar with Fort Boyard, it's like Crystal Maze, but with Leslie Grantham.
Yeah. Who murdered a taxi driver? Well, manslaughtered the taxi driver.
Point is, they
Maybe.
used to run around between the various zones
Yeah, you
in
had your
the
medieval
thing
zone, didn't you?
for a while. Yeah, there was industrial, there was Aztec, there was
Aztec,
futuristic,
futuristic,
and you'd
um,
run. They had Oceanic at one point, didn't they?
oceanic. Yeah, I remember there
Yeah,
was an oceanic. I think it was in a book I saw. There was no. I think I had a Crystal Maze playbook when I was a little kid.
yeah.
I haven't thought about it till
We loved it.
now.
We loved that show.
I didn't. That's the only um connection I have really exposure
Oh,
even I have with the Crystal Maze is that I had that book and I haven't thought about it and I can only
well,
remember that it mentioned an oceanic zone.
it was originally Richard O'Brien, wasn't it, who did Rocky Horror, and
Yes,
after him, it was Edward Tudor Pole, famous for being in the band Ten Pole Tudor, who sang "Swords of a Thousand Men."
wasn't he also in Harry Potter?
I think he might have been at some point, but I can't think
What's
who
his
had.
name? Edward Tempole Tudor.
Edward Tudor Pole.
Yeah, I'm certain he is.
Well, you might well be, but I can't remember. A lot of people have been in Harry Potter. And in the more recent stuff, Richard Ayoade does it.
Yeah, he was Mr. Borgin, but his scenes were deleted.
Oh well, it doesn't barely counts then, does it?
Played Spike Milligan in The Life, Death, Peter and Sellers. Anyway, yes. Um,
That'd be why I don't remember him being in it, is if he didn't actually do his scenes in the films.
yeah,
I don't think that counts, does it? You know, I was in EastEnders this week, Ben, but they deleted my scenes.
did they?
Yeah, the bastards.
Oh
I had
well.
a lot of everything.
What did you say?
No, a line of coke.
Oh,
Um, Phil's at it again.
all right.
And no, so yeah, can we go on to the ending?
Yeah, but
She,
they're all racists.
well, you see, you say racist, and that was my immediate thought as well, right? That was genuinely 100% my immediate thought. But a split second after, I asked myself if it was racist or if it was classist.
Racist.
But I'm leaning towards racist
Because
because
they
that's the
didn't have
connotation.
quite as much of an issue with Ruby, did they?
I haven't. I don't remember there being any black people in the stuff that we saw.
I did think back at that moment, like, oh yeah, this is pretty white, isn't it?
Like I don't remember seeing any black people apart from the Doctor. So it's probably a racism thing.
It definitely,
But again, they were the rich kids, weren't they? Basically,
yeah.
it was specifically mentioned that they were the rich kids.
Mm,
So I'm open to the idea that it could potentially be classism. I think it's racism, but
I feel like it
it could.
definitely is.
I
I
think
get.
it's meant. I think we're meant to think it's racism, and that's fine. I can live with that. I don't mind it being racism.
Mm,
I just,
that's a
the
sentence, isn't
double
it?
side of that.
I don't mind it being
Fine.
racism.
Well, if it's going to be a reason to hate her, we might as well throw racism on.
Yeah, but I liked it as an ending. I
Um,
really did.
it made the Doctor cry again.
I don't think that was because he was hurt that people were being racist towards him. I felt that because he's a Time Lord, so beyond any of that. He's like, what a stupid reason not to live. Like, I could save you, and you're not letting, and that's the reason you're not letting me.
Well,
It's just like it's I think that was his reaction to a sense of complete powerlessness in the face of something so easily so petty. It was my interpretation of that.
I mean, I hadn't like I wasn't making much of a point. Just that
No,
it made him cry again.
yeah,
I think he's cried in almost all the episodes.
mm,
I don't think he did last week, but he wasn't really in last week, so I
no,
don't think that
he
counts.
was probably crying in the void.
Crying in the green room whilst
Yeah, um, I really like that as an ending, and I think it was sort of a comment on. I haven't really had much time to think about it, but when I was getting the washing in, I did think, is this like a comment on social media, beauty standards? Uh, is it? I don't use a lot of media, but I can't I can't think of a lot of non-white major influencers that I know
I
of.
mean, how many major influencers do you know of?
There's that Kylie Jenner. She's part
Okay,
Armenian though, isn't she?
yes, she has got
But that's still
a
white.
mixed heritage background.
Oh yeah, that's still white. It's fine. Um,
Um,
to those people, I mean, but, yeah. There's.
could it be an age thing? Because he is 31, the actor.
I don't think it's an age thing, Jordan.
No, no, no. Just bear with me for a minute. Because again, there was a whole point about the fact that they are 17 to 27-year-olds, isn't it?
Mm,
So again, maybe they just fucking know that he's older, and shouldn't doesn't belong there because he's so much older than them.
that's a good point. I would hate it if that was the intention,
Again,
and they
like it's
accidentally
probably racism,
made it
right?
racist.
It is almost certainly racism, but that's now three possible interpretations of that ending.
Yeah, I wouldn't like it if it was meant to be. I don't think don't answer this. I'm pretty sure you're not suggesting it was meant to be taken as an age thing. I think it's an
Oh God,
interest.
no! I had
I
to
think
I
it's
had
a.
to look up his age.
I think it's an interesting take on it. But certainly, my first thought was, oh, this is a race thing, and there are no other non-white people in that in Fine Time, and it just sort of play into the whole, as I say, beauty standards and race standards and money as well, and so yeah, I liked it as an ending to a Doctor Who episode, um, and I like that he still tried to save them, even though he realised pretty soon, like, oh,
When
okay, this is the thing. I get it.
when he was walking back towards the TARDIS, the music did that thing that it does sometimes to suggest something specific is going to happen. And I was getting he's going to sink that boat vibes from him.
Why?
Like he just the way the music was swelling up around him while he was walking back.
Mm,
He looked pissed. It came across as though he was pissed and he was going to do something about it.
mm.
Not quite Time Lord Victorious style
I
raid, but something. I mean, obviously he hasn't, right?
I yeah, I sort of I yeah, I mean, I got the impression he was just sort of angry at the situation rather than them in particular. It was just like he was pissed off that it was such a stupid reason and he wasn't going to be able to save anybody. Because all those people are going to die. It's
Yeah,
just a
that's
load
true.
of
So
dumb rich kids out in the middle of nowhere who will no doubt end up starving to death or killing each other or falling down hills. No, they're all fucked.
And it's also worth noting that if they are going to be on this planet with this AI that wants to kill them, they're still on the same
How
fucking planet.
how long is it going to be before one of them goes back to using the social media? How long can they
No,
resist?
they won't even get out of that tunnel.
Yeah, they're so screwed. That's what should have happened. They should have gone on the boat, and one of them should have started live streaming or something, and then they should have all
Mm.
been wiped out. That would have been funny. Um, yeah, yeah, but I thought that's two major elements of this episode that aren't really typical Doctor Who fare. You've got unlikable characters that are meant to be unlikable, and that ending which is not
Downbeat.
well downbeat to say the least, but it's more than that. It's sort of a horrifying dark twist ending, and add to that the fact that the Doctor and Ruby aren't in it. I really liked it. But as I say, I do have issues with the whole um, plot, with elements of the social media thing. I wish they'd sort of iron those out, but very minor quibbles that annoy me more than anything. Um, yeah, I just wish. Yeah, those are issues, and I've done it. Pretty easy to fix, but just weird bad choices. I don't get the alphabetical order thing, and
But that sums up the series.
what really good potential in a lot of places, but strange
But
choices that are sort of
holding it down.
hold it down, and I can't explain why talented people are making these decisions.
Yeah,
Hmm.
basically. I
I
mean,
mean,
this season could be so much better than it has been. As from my perspective, this season could be so much better than it has been if they had fine tuned it. And again, I made this point a couple of weeks ago. We watched this,
yeah,
we watched the episodes, and then we what was it, about 5-10 minutes gap?
yeah, yeah,
Because you had to do some stuff, I got the pictures, and I went for a piss.
yeah.
And then that's it. We start recording. We haven't. This isn't like we watched it at midnight and we've spent all day thinking about it. This is
Mm,
and these are things that we are able to say, look, this doesn't quite work, and this is what you should do. Because it's easy to say, oh, that doesn't work, and then leave it at that, right?
yeah.
But we have what I genuinely think. And feel free to tell us if we're, but we have got solutions to those problems
Hmm.
like that. This isn't. They're such blatantly obvious things to me, and I'm assuming to you as well.
Well, yeah. It's not. I mean, the obvious example is the Devil's Cord. I mean,
Yeah,
it's very easy to turn that into a good, solid episode. Just weird choices that I can't explain, but I don't. It's just a weird take on that story, on the presentation of that story, which I mean, watch the videos made on the Devil's Cord. We go into more detail of it there, but yeah, I
and it's not just because of Chubby Paul.
no, God bless him, chubby Stagnite Paul
Yeah,
with his bad wig and
but
his shit glasses.
that's what you get when you ask Mum for Paul McCartney. She says you've got
We've
one at
got
home.
Paul McCartney at home. We have the Beatles at home.
Wish Paul McCartney.
Yeah, yeah.
Anyway.
Have you got anything else on your list?
No, I'm finished.
Well, I'm pretty sure I'm finished as well. What did you make of the
Okay.
design of the slug things? I thought they were fine.
It's just
Fair enough.
like it's just how can we make it look really alien? Like how there's no explanation as to how they got made. So we don't know where they've come from. We don't know
Yeah,
if
I
they're
don't
like
know.
themed outsiders or what. I don't know.
I
If
don't
I
know.
know,
I don't know.
but
Which
it's
sort of
weird. It's just a
really just sort of suggests there must be some AI component to this to make them in a lab, or maybe they persuaded a social media. I don't know. Again, not thought through.
maybe
Weird
that's what they're
choice. I
doing.
don't know.
Maybe that's what their work is, and they just didn't reveal that.
Yeah, weird plot.
I said, yeah.
I don't, I don't get why that's what they chose. You know, writing wise, I don't get it. But there's a lot I really liked in this episode. A lot. This is easily my second favorite.
Mm.
Yeah, I prefer this to Devil's Cord. Maybe. I think. Do I? Interesting question, Ben. Let's have a think. Um. Well, do you? While I'm thinking about this, where would you place this?
I don't know. They are, for the most part, so low in my expectations of Doctor Who, but ranking them as they are jostling for the bottom position.
What are all of
I
them?
almost all of them. What's that one? What's the one? Was it the Devil's Called that I actually sort of liked?
You like the Devil's Cord most?
Yeah. Well, everything else is so poor by comparison
Mm.
that I honestly I can't really distinguish between them anymore as to which one is better or worse.
I mean, it was a good bit Black Mirror-y, this episode, wasn't it? There's a few minor twists, and this could be a Black Mirror episode very
I mean,
easily.
like I say, they basically sort of maybe kind of a little bit did it in Wally,
Yeah, yeah.
and that was like that was in the mid 2000s.
I think I do prefer this to the Devil's Cord on the whole, even though I think I prefer the elements.
2008.
The elements I like about the Devil's Cord, like more than the things I liked in Dot and Bubble. But I think on the whole, Dot and Bubble had more going for it than the Devil's Cord. So I think I prefer the Devil's or Dot and Bubble to the Devil's Cord. But 73 yards is still my fave, even though I don't know what happened.
No one knows what happened. I'm not even sure Russell knows what happened.
Well, he
fucking
explained it. We talked about this. He explained it in the after episode thing, where
Okay, trouble is, anyone could pull an explanation out of their ass after.
I, you need to put that shit in the episode, man. You can't. It's like saying to somebody who's confused by something in Star Wars, "Oh, it's explained in this expanded universe novel." It's like, no, this needs to be part of the text. This is part of
It's
the
true.
core material. You can't expect me to no fucking refer to another source.
It's textbook how you're meant to present a story,
Yeah,
and
I meant to know what's
it's
happening, and
flawed.
yes, I meant to know what's happening and why.
It's fine to have a mystery. I don't mind a mystery
Yeah,
ending, but if it's a double parter, right?
yeah.
I don't mind a mystery ending if it's obvious that the whole point is that there's going to be, but if it's one of these situations where you've made an unsolvable puzzle
Mm,
and you're relishing in the fact that no one's quite clever enough to get it,
which I don't
or if it
think is.
feels like
I don't think that's what this is.
it feels it feels very, oh, this is a really clever story
Mm.
vibe it to me, and oh, I can't wait to see the conversations about it. And just no, I'm just so fucking done with this season. I really am, and I
Oh,
don't want to be. I don't want to be because I fucking yeah. I know. Can we get on with this?
yeah. Okay.
Let's wrap it up.
Well, yes, you thought it was. Yeah, I thought it was good. Um, yeah. I next episode. Um, Regency Bird people.
Yes, it's just like Twiggerton. I mean Bridgerton.
Yeah. Um. Yeah. What was that? Was that a bird pun?
Yeah, it was a bad burn.
Oh, okay. I thought you were making fun of my propensity to forget names.
No, I realised after the fact that you might have thought that would be the case, but no,
Mm.
it was intended as a joke.
Well, I yes, it's the only.
Thank you for noticing.
Thank you for thank you. Yeah, it's the only episode not written by either Stephen Moffat or Russell T Davies.
Who wrote this one? That one. Sorry.
Two ladies.
Okay. Well, women are into that Bridgerton stuff, aren't they? So I
I'm
suppose that makes
I'm
sense.
intrigued. It may be interesting. It may subvert some tropes about the genre. So we'll see. But yes, we'll pick it up next time for I think it's called Rogue.
I think so. Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.